Okay, we're here with Jessica Jenkins. I'm going to ask you a few questions about the incident that occurred in the apartment building. If you could just answer to the best of your ability. Do you live in the same apartment building as where the incident occurred?
Yes, I live down the hallway.
Okay, how long have you lived there?
I just moved in about a month ago, probably.
So you're not very familiar with the neighbors yet, or?
I know most of them. I see them come in and out, but I don't know anyone really personally yet.
Okay. Are you familiar with the incident that occurred in the apartment down the hall from you?
I'm not very familiar with what happened. I don't think I was around for it.
So you were not home at the time?
No, I just got a dog, so I had him at obedience school.
Okay. Do you know anything about the people that live in that apartment?
I see them come in and out sometimes. I kind of was under the impression that they don't really get along, because sometimes I'll walk by and hear them arguing or yelling. So I didn't think that the roommates, I guess, that I hear a lot get along very well.
Okay, do you know anything personally about the victim of the situation?
No, I don't.
Do you know any of his friends or family?
I think I've seen a girl come out in and out with him, so I'm assuming that might be his girlfriend or someone he's seeing.
Okay, do you know anything about her?
No, I've just seen her come in and out of his room.
Okay. Do you know anything about the roommate?
Nothing other than that they don't seem to get along with each other. Nothing about each one of them personally.
Okay, did you ever think that a situation like this would happen on campus, in an apartment on campus?
I mean, I guess it can happen anywhere. I guess I never thought it would be in the same hallway that I'm living in, so that's kind of scary, but no, not really.
Okay, thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Hello, my name is Lori Jo, and I am Andrew Smith and Jason Williams' landlord, unfortunately. Wait, before this begins, officer, how long is this going to take? I have a huge mess on my hands to clean up thanks to these boys, and about 30 residents to convince not to move out of my building. I don't think you understand how huge of a mess I have to deal with now. Okay. On the night of March 29th, I was cleaning and staging an apartment a few doors down that had been opened up for rent. I had heard some arguing while I was cleaning, but that's nothing new. There's always yelling going on in their apartment. I've gotten 15 noise complaints this month alone. Jason and that girlfriend of his, Rachel something or other, are always at each other's throat. This was one of their shorter arguments, lasting only about half an hour. After that, I heard a door slam and presumably Rachel leaving in hysterics, sobbing uncontrollably. After she left, Jason started fighting with his roommate Andrew. This was one of their louder arguments, but it was fairly short, only lasting a couple minutes. I was too far away to hear what exactly they were saying, but they seemed very mad at each other. After a couple minutes, when it quieted down, I had finished my cleaning and left the apartment.
Okay, this witness wishes to remain anonymous. Can you just give us your first name, please?
I'm Sarah.
Did you hear about what happened in the apartment building?
Yeah, I heard about the incident through the talk of other students around.
Did you know the victim or anybody involved?
I did not.
Do you know anything that happened?
I didn't hear anything about what happened.
You don't have any specific details that you could share?
No.
Okay. Does what happened change your opinion about coming to the school?
It makes me feel a little bit unsafe that it could happen again in the future.
Okay. Okay, thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Hi, Andrew. I'm Detective Nanchester. I I have a few questions to ask you about your roommate, Jason Williams. Is that okay?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, so first off, you live at 300 3rd Street in California, PA. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's correct.
Okay, great. So I'm sorry to hear about your friend. That's really awful. I mean, that must be hard for you. You lost your friend.
Yeah, really haven't sunk in yet.
Yeah, I bet. That's rough. So how long have you known Jason?
We've known him for a couple of years. We went to school together.
That's very neat. So you met each other at school. So how long have you lived together?
Just about a year.
So you're close then.
Kind of.
Well, after we did some searching in the apartment, it seemed that he might have overdosed. We found some prescription medication for depression. Do you know if he's had any history of mental illness?
He has depression. He drank a lot before. He tried to kill himself before. And because of that, he's been in and out of the hospital quite a few times. He was doing better when he started dating Rachel, though.
I'm here with Rachel Green, the girlfriend of Jason Williams. We're just going to go through a few questions, and I want you to answer them to the best of your ability. Okay. So what time did you leave Jason's house?
I would say about 11 o'clock p.m. I don't know the exact time, but it was somewhere around then.
Okay. And how were things with you and Jason before you left?
Fighting as usual.
Could you elaborate a little bit? What were you guys fighting about?
He says I'm not the same person as I was when we met, so we fight all the time.
Okay.
His mental illness doesn't make it any better.
Okay. And how were things with you and Andrew when you left?
They're good. They're always good.
Andrew are good?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Could you elaborate on that a little bit, or?
He's a good friend.
Okay, just a good friend.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know any information on Jason's death?
No.
No.
He had a mental illness, so I don't really know much about it.
Don't know much.
I'm very shocked and don't know what to say about it.
Would you ever think something like this would happen?
No.
Do you think that you had any part in what happened to him?
I feel guilty about it, but
could you elaborate on that? Why do you feel guilty?
I don't know. Things happen with me and Andrew that I'm not proud about, so I don't want to talk about it.
Okay. Is there no way we could talk about that now? Okay. So if you could give me a few examples of why did you and Jason argue a lot? Just a few examples so I can get a better idea of how your relationship went.
It was just constant fighting over every little thing.
Any things in particular that he didn't like or that you didn't like, or?
He just wasn't, I don't know, I just wasn't happy anymore.
Okay.
And he saw that, but I didn't want to do anything or break up with him because of his mental illness.
Okay. And so you would say that Jason's mental illness affected your relationship?
Yes.
Could you elaborate on that a little bit, or was there specific parts of it that just really made it hard, or?
Yeah, I couldn't really get out of the relationship, I feel, because of his illness.
Okay.
Because I didn't want to hurt him.
Alright, and we're just going to ask you one last question, and I think we touched on it earlier, but did you ever expect that this tragedy would happen?
No.
No. His mental illness never gave you any insight that he was struggling with his own problems, or?
No.
No? Just
I never would have thought.
small bickering here and there, just kind of figured it would blow over whenever it does.
It'd be fine.
Okay. Alright, well, I think we're done here for now, and then if we have any more questions, we'll be in contact.
Okay, thanks.
Was another witness of the incident in the apartments at Cal U. Can you please state your name?
I'm Jennifer Costello. I live next door to the apartment where the incident occurred.
How long did you live there?
I lived there since the beginning of the semester, so around January. I was the one who called the police. The police have never been called to this apartment before, but the landlord has been called for like noise complaints and things like that. I was hearing some loud noises, arguing, and then it got like real quiet all of a sudden, and I just thought something was wrong, so I decided to call the police.
Around what time?
I got home around 12 o'clock, and then I walked past their apartment, and that's when I heard all the arguing, but I didn't call the police until around like 12:30 after it all stopped. I think the one guy had like some like anger issues or like mental issues or something like that, so I don't know.
Do you know exactly what happened?
I don't know exactly what happened. I don't know what could have happened because the roommates argue all the time. They don't get along very well. Nobody will tell me anything. I've been asking questions and nobody can give me a straight answer. The one guy argues with his girlfriend all the time, so they don't get along. So I have no idea what could have gone on. I don't think they were into like any drugs or anything. I don't think it was anything like that. I just think that they all have getting along issues,